What's up, everybody? Cigar Sherpa Laird Mayhew coming at you with another cigar review. Today I'm reaching off the top shelf with the Davidoff Nicaragua in Toro. Stay tuned.
I can smoke stogies in my house, first of all, because her father introduced me to stogies, and second of all, because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
All right. Welcome back to another cigar review here at Cigar Sherpa. I am, of course, your host, Laird Mayhew. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if it's not your first time, welcome back. We appreciate the support. All right, so as my intro said, I've got the Davidoff Nicaragua in Toro. That Toro is going to be a 54 ring gauge by 5.5 inches long, okay? Top shelf smoke here, $17 cigar. We expect a lot when we pay that much money for a cigar. So right off the bat, it's got a double cap on there. It's on there kind of sloppy, actually. I'm not going to lie. And it's got a little bit of a snag here. A little pinch right there, if you can see. Like a vein. But, hey, we'll see. It's a Nicaraguan Puro, okay? So that means that all the tobacco comes in from Nicaragua. The wrapper, from what I've heard, I think I read it somewhere, and I should have double-checked it, but it's got a 10-year aged wrapper. It's a Habano Seed Nicaraguan Rosado wrapper. It's got that, what they call a red hue to it, but it is kind of like a brownish, got a little red to it, which would be that Rosado. The binder is from Jalapa, I know that, and then it's got a fillers, it's tri-blend, I'm going to guess, Esteli, Condega, and Jalapa. But the aroma, it's got off the cannon here, the wrapper, it's got like a slight hay, almost like it's barnyardy, there you go. And the foot's got, there's a sweetness in there, maybe a dried fruit, I don't know. I can't really tell, but overall, very dense, but light. Okay, so I'm going to think that this is probably going to be, there's the pack right there. It's not as heavy as I thought it would be. Right away, I'm going to guess it's going to probably burn a little fast. The wrapper is in pretty good. It's a beautiful wrapper. It's oily. It's smooth, tight seams. But I'm going to give this thing a cut in the light and get into the first third and tell you what I think about it. Stay tuned. All right. Okay, I went for the hole punch today from Sector 7 Ballistics. You can find him on Facebook. It's a really good punch. I really enjoy it. So anyway, right away off the light here, cedar. Okay, I'm getting a cedar. There's a good burn in the retrohale. Ooh, be careful with that. So I say that almost every Nicaraguan cigar. It's like a red pepper burn in the retrohale. I'm not really getting it on the palate. Just some cedar. Got like a musty earth flavor and an oily smoke. Okay, so cedar, musty earth, and an oily smoke. Sounds like a Nicaraguan cigar to me. And I don't have the pepper on the palate, zero. I got a little bit of burn going on in my nose right now in the back end of it, and it's kind of hanging on. So let me get into the first third and see how this thing develops, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Stay tuned. All right. We are about, 10, 12, 13 minutes into the first third here, and I mean, it is what it is. It ain't burning too good. That ash is pretty dark, so we're just gonna not jump to conclusions yet and see if it kind of works itself out. I've had the cigar in my humidor now since Christmas. It was a Christmas gift. But anyway, so far the flavors are good. Good flavors. I mean, I've got that. It's the order of the day on this cigar is cedar. It's got an earth. It's got a good earthy. I would say it's like a damp earth. So damp earth and cedar, but almost like seriously on like a higher scale, like the good cedar and the good earth. Okay, and I believe it's that wrapper. It gives it like this buttery sweetness that hangs around on the palate. It's very, very smooth cigar. Very, very well aged tobaccos. You can taste that. Very smooth, very oily, but buttery. because it's got that sweetness with that damp earth and the cedar. So pretty complex. What makes these cigars so expensive? Could it be the name Davidoff? Maybe. I'm not a big fan of Davidoff core lines. Okay, the ones that were built to be Dominican Connecticut cigars in the 90s and the early 2000s. Connecticut shade wrap, very light, very medium, below medium. Not a big fan of them. I never smoked them. Here recently, to keep up with, I say recently in the last 10 years, getting into the more blends and keeping up with the boutique movement that's going on in cigars, which I'm a big fan of. They're keeping up and staying true to form using that 10-year aged Habano wrapper. And I believe that's probably where that buttery, silky, smooth, buttery, oily, earthy, cedary flavor is probably coming from that with the, in the tobaccos. So I'm going to let this burn, see if it evens out. Like I said, I'm about now 15 minutes into it. It's burning pretty quick, actually. I kind of wanted to sit back on this one and take it slow, and I am going to smoke it slow, but we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. All right. We are into the second third now, just getting into the second third. Not quite to the halfway point. Got some burn issues, but overall it's not really affecting the cigar. It's just not burning as, evenly. Whenever I get a Davidoff or you get an expensive cigar, you take it for granted that the quality control on these cigars is going to be top notch. Along with the good aged tobaccos, you just expect the quality control. And the cap wasn't all that great, and it's really light, and it's getting kind of soft now, and it's just burning uneven. But I know that's going to take scores off of it, or it would if I was, grading it number-wise. But the flavors on this thing are good. They're really good, actually. I mean, again, the flavors really haven't transitioned that much. I've got that cedar. I've got that musty earth. I've got that buttery sweetness, okay? It's not a dried fruit flavor that I'm getting. It's like a sweet butter. It reminds me of like this stuff that my grandmother used to make. It was called egg custard. Okay, I don't know what it was. Buttermilk pie, I guess some people call it. It was just like a custard. It was like a pie, and it was very silky, and it was very buttery and sweet. And that is what this is reminding me of. It's got a slight spice to it. I can't really identify it, so usually I just call it baker's spice because it's that mix that's in there. I'm not really getting big notes of cinnamon or nutmeg or anything. It's just there. It's very faint. Surprisingly, with the Nicaraguan Puro, I'm not getting any black pepper. Okay, I got some red pepper zing, kind of hangs out on the back of the palate and in the retrohale. But it's not what I expected. But overall, it's a very good cigar. Like candy toffee flavored. But the burn issues, it's burning pretty quick too. I think I'm only about 25 minutes into it. We're coming to the halfway point. So, and I don't know if you can see how soft and spongy it is, and it's very light, and that just is what it is. I'm gonna keep on trucking. I'm gonna come back in the final third and let you know what I think about it. All right. We are in the final third of this cigar, and I'm really enjoying it. It is the flavor profile kind of picked up right when it got to the band, right before it picked up more of almost like a bready note to it. I don't know how to describe that, but that buttery, silky texture of smoke with that sweet cedar and that musty earth, it just all kind of came together. It kind of got a little bit more spicy with the bacon spice, maybe a little bit more towards the cinnamon side, but very faint. And it picked up like a nutty note. Okay, so it's complex because they were kind of like in and out, but the flavors that stayed with this cigar the whole time was the cedar, the damp, earthy taste, and it had that buttery nuance. Okay, and when I smoked it, when I tasted it, it reminded me of like an egg custard or a buttermilk pie. Maybe not so sweet. But it was definitely a good, silky, buttery flavor. Spice kind of picked up a little bit here towards the end. It's still there, and it's got a nice nuttiness to it as that sweetness kind of fades off, and that's kind of typical when they get down this short. Construction-wise, I mean, it was mediocre. It wasn't what I was expecting for a high-dollar cigar like this, but the burn issues never really affected the flavor. I didn't have to really touch it up. They worked themselves out, and now it's burning off pretty good. It got soft, and it was a little underpacked, you know, what I think anyway. So overall, it's a good cigar, man. I don't know if it's worth $17. I don't know. I mean, I would definitely buy it and smoke it again because I just enjoyed the flavors of it. It wasn't very strong and spicy, and it didn't kick me in the face like I'm used to, but it was a good change. I paired it with my black coffee. And with that earthy sweetness, it just all kind of worked together. And I believe it's probably that Habano Rosado wrapper, aged 10 years. I mean, that's probably where that sweetness came from. Very smooth smoke entirely. Very good aged tobacco. And that's why it's expensive. I'm sure Davidoff, the name Davidoff, lends a few bucks to it. But when you start using those quality aged tobaccos like that, it's going to be more expensive. So I'm still enjoying it, and this thing's going to go down to burning my fingers. So Davidoff Nicaragua, Nicaraguan series, Nicaraguan Puro. It's a 5.5-inch cigar, 54 ring gauge, perfect size. Love the size. I guess it came out about 8 years ago. It's the first Davidoff Nicaraguan Puro, so there you go. Good tobacco, good cigar. I recommend you go out and try it. So, Cigar Sherpa, Laird Mayhew, reminding you to always carry a big knife in case someone breaks out that cheesecake. Y'all have a good day.